What up, guys? Today we have the heavy bolt pistol on the Bulwark, but I am Prestige 3 on Bulwark right now, and I have to say, the heavy bolt pistol, those perks look very good. But okay, yes, Prestige 3 Bulwark, and we have powerful shot here. Ranged damage increases by 20%. It is a very, very good perk. It is definitely one that I was, itching to try out because the heavy bolt pistol on Bulwark is very, very nice. So the heavy bolt pistol right now is like turning into one of the best weapons in the game. It feels like, almost. But okay, so I jump into this operation. We do have a neurothrope, and it's always a good way to start an operation off. Getting this sweaty this early in an operation can really, get you focused, I think. And I do have a fencing chainsword here. Unfortunately, I'm kind of getting a little bit chipped up by some gaunts. They didn't actually scratch me too bad because we are on Ruthless here. Like I showed you guys, I don't have any perks. And I know I jumped into... I think it was lethal. I think it was lethal without any perks on a Prestige 4 heavy. I did do that, so I might do the same thing with Bulwark here when I get to Prestige 4. We will see. I honestly think, when I'm Prestige 4 Bulwark, I honestly think I might be able to jump into Absolute without any perks, but I just don't think it's very responsible, and I don't want to be the guy who, loses the operation because I don't have advanced conditioning on my Bulwark, which I should if I jump into higher difficulty. So, yeah, sometimes I'll stretch out and, get greedy with some experience, but for right now, I think this difficulty is perfect. And the heavy bolt pistol is also really good with the chainsword. Oh, a little weird teabag there on the neurothrope. That's kind of interesting. But okay, so the chainsword is a very good weapon right now. And right now the stomp is being buffed by one of the Bulwark's prestige perks. So I really did not have an issue just jumping into some melee, getting that parry, getting the gun strike. I do have the heavy bolt, the heavy bolt pistol, of course. So those gun strikes are hitting pretty hard. I have no idea why it's saying it's going to teleport me here. No clue why that's a thing, but yeah, it's a thing apparently. And there's some spore mines across the corner. Now, it's kind of weird. They're a little bit spread out. So I just wanted to make sure I was careful with shooting them before I went back to, hitting any gaunts. Those spore mines being a little bit spread out was definitely a bit dangerous. And yeah, luckily I was able to get away from that one. But you can see the gaunts start to pour in here. And I am getting a little bit surrounded by bone swords. Now, it's just 2 right now, which isn't too crazy to handle with some, some parries. But if you see more than 2 and you go for some gun strikes, it can definitely be a little bit risky. But ultimately, the heavy bolt pistol never fails. It's a great weapon, and I'm able to deal with that without too much trouble. There's an ammo box. It's definitely going to pick that up. It's really nice, honestly, that the Bulwark Prestige perks I have right now is just like a little bit of extra cooldown, supporting the banner cooldown, and then I'm supporting my range damage, and then I'm also supporting my melee damage, with overcharge. So a Prestige 3 Bulwark is actually looking very good, even without any perks, which is kind of wild. And it's definitely, I do enjoy jumping into at least Ruthless when you have a couple Prestige perks. I think you will be ultimately fine if you have one really good prestige perk that for your damage or for your weapons. I don't know why I'm goofing off with those gaunts there. I really am just sitting there, just pressing one button, just messing around. But okay, yeah. When you are starting your prestige leveling, and if you get a couple prestige perks, you should be able to just jump right into Ruthless, which is nice. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys are enjoying prestige leveling, because it really is fun to just try out all these things as far as hey, how far up can this weapon jump in difficulty without any perks? But yeah, the banner unfortunately does not have any support besides the armor, which honestly for higher difficulties is pretty good. Just getting your armor back, and oh, that assault jump was so crazy. He really flew in there. But yeah, banner's always going to be good. I'm not going to, as much as I talk about jumping into higher difficulties, I really don't think a vanilla banner without any perks is going to be a game changer. But sometimes those higher difficulties, sometimes it takes a while for your armor to come back. But yeah, Bulwark is just in a great spot right now. As you can see right there, I'm just stomping through. With the stuns, it's really, really hard to get some, damage on me right there because I'm just able to continuously stun everything around me. I'm stomping as well, but we do see a Ravener jump right there. If that Ravener was jumping at me, I might have gotten hit by that. Oh, but yep, right there, the heavy bolt pistol showing itself to be a great weapon to get your contested health back. I did not have advanced conditioning. And go for the parry with the Ravener, but for whatever reason, it did not work. And yes, the Ravener acid right there is something you really want to keep track of. I definitely forget about that sometimes. And yeah, we were able to take out this Extremist without any issues, really. I almost had my health cut, but luckily I was able to get some of that back. But yeah, Prestige 3 Bulwark without any perks still hits very hard. I am kind of curious to see what the other classes look, as far as like without any perks. Can they still go into Ruthless? Can they possibly go into Lethal? I know for a fact Heavy can. Bulwark is definitely in a good spot. I kind of want to see what Tactical looks like. Right now, my Tactical actually is pretty tanky. He has, Fortitude and some extra healing from the stims, which is nice. I think that's a great spot for the Tactical to be in. But still, you would need stims to spawn for that Prestige perk to be any good. So in Absolute, you definitely get more value out of your stims. But I feel like a Tactical without any perks jumping into Absolute could be a little wild. But hey, you know what? Scan is pretty good. Oh yeah, here we go for the team perks. Melee Champion is also helping me out quite a bit there. Squad Cohesion also helping me out quite a bit there. So yeah, this was like a perfect scenario for the Bulwark. Now, this is Ruthless difficulty, but every time in an operation, there's going to be one of those moments that feel very unwinnable. And this is basically that moment for this operation. I dropped Banner pretty early there. But unfortunately, this fight starts to get out of control pretty fast. I guess some nice dodges there, which is cool. I honestly didn't want to get hit because, as you can see right there, if you get hit, well, honestly, it didn't happen right there, but if you get hit with a sniper shot, you can definitely get hit by a bone sword. So once these majors started to stack up, I was very concerned with blocking things. And not to mention, sometimes blocking that sniper shot just gets me closer for melee range anyway. But yeah, normally you can just sit there and block shots, which also benefits you because of the Prestige perk, where you can, help your cooldown recharge a bit faster by, blocking damage, which is very nice. But yeah, the amount of majors that just jumped up in this fight was very wild to see. And I actually kind of like the difficulty in this way. Well, honestly, against bone swords or any sort of Tyranids, I had a really good kit for this, so I was not too worried about just getting a couple parries here and letting the heavy bolt pistol get some headshots. Oh yeah, right there I'm trying my best not to get surrounded. I want all the majors in front of me, so I'm able to parry them and not take any damage. Unfortunately, that bone sword came out very fast, but still I was able to follow up with a nice parry gun strike and get my health back. That was a wild one. That was a wild one for Ruthless. Yeah, here's a sniper there. Yep, just dodge, get in close. You can definitely block the sniper shots with the shield, but you do a little knockback animation, which actually has some iframes now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure it has some iframes, but still, yeah, I was playing very aggressive here. The heavy bolt pistol gets the job done. When it comes to majors, it can really just, yeah, it does a number on them. The heavy bolt pistol definitely hits very hard. And we were able to get through that probably the toughest fight in the operation without anybody going down. And now we are at the train part. Oh, this operation, by the way, is still a pretty fun operation to go through with Tyranids. It's very, it's very upfront. The only objectives you really have are, this part, which isn't too difficult to get through. I would say some objectives in this game are definitely harder than others, and this is probably one of the easier objectives. Now, see, right there I did block a sniper shot, but then I think I parried or something, and then I just got hit by another sniper shot. That was really weird. There was a lot happening on the screen there. I actually wasn't too sure what I was looking at. But still, we were able to push up a little bit on these majors and get away from these vine mines, which stacked up pretty quickly. And as you can see here, the toxic effect wasn't really that big of a deal. It kind of was. There was a lot of visual pollution before I had the status effect there. So I, wasn't too worried about having it. And not to mention we were able to clear out most of the mobs that were here at the train before we got the objective started. And luckily with this operation, there's a lot of stims. This stim kind of just lays around there for a while. Oh, here's a weird situation with zoanthropes. I think at the moment in this operation when we had zoanthropes spawn in, one of them were caught underneath this bridge. So we were actually kind of walking around at the end here looking for the zoanthrope, and it was underneath the bridge, which is pretty wild. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And right here, as you can see, the melee capabilities of Bulwark is very, very good right now. This is ruthless, but as soon as I drop the banner, you can just keep stomping, and it's definitely very useful to, buff the charge damage of your melee attacks, because overcharge does affect the stomp, which is just very, very good. You can seriously just absolutely decimate waves, especially since we have melee champion. I am doing extra melee damage, and then I'm also doing, obviously extra overcharge damage because of, overcharge. Well, I guess charge damage because of overcharge. So yeah, the heavy bolt pistol and the chainsword, one of my favorite combination of weapons to just pair together. It feels very classic. I think the Titus Mini I have has the heavy bolt pistol and a chainsword. And not to mention, I am super happy that we are able to color cloth, because this whole Bulwark situation I have for my cosmetics is definitely one of my favorite ways that I put together a character. This just looks very, very good. Oh yeah, see, right at the end there, we were able to drop the Melta to get rid of the zoanthrope underneath the bridge, so we can get a better extermination rank. I'm pretty sure if we just left that zoanthrope there, we would have received less experience. Now, I will say, I didn't do anything too impressive with damage. This was, besides that one moment with Majors, this is a pretty casual run. But the Bulwark can still just casually put over 10,000 damage, which is really nice. And having that extra range damage really does help. The fact that you can just break down Majors very quickly. And that was a good run. Onwards to Prestige 4.